But the way you handle blessing is what determines the increase in favor. It's how you handle the blessing of the Lord, how He shines on you. So I watch people, they'll do this. And I've done this myself, so I certainly can't point the finger. But somebody gets blessed with something, and we get among our peers, and we feel like we need to apologize the fact that it is a pretty nice house, isn't it? Yes, it is. Yeah. Well, my uncle was into oil, and he just left a lot of money to a lot of us, and that's what they gave me. And does it make sense to you? We almost feel the need to apologize for the blessing of the Lord. What would it be like to give each other enough room to be blessed that nobody ever had to apologize again? Now, the reason we do it is because we know the prone nature of people to become jealous when somebody else gets blessed. Proverbs says this. There's this strange verse in Proverbs. It talks about, I'm going to put it in my language, your ability to handle another person's blessing determines when you qualify for your own. Actually, it says another man's possession. I translated it into blessing just to illustrate a principle. The way you handle another person's possession, the borrowed car, how you handle that borrowed car determines when you can actually get one for yourself. Well, here's an interesting twist on that. Let's say that you're the person that needs the automobile, and you've been praying for a week. So you've been saying, God, I've got to be able to get to work. I'm tired of hitchhiking. I'm tired of taking the bus. I've got to be able to get to work. I need the car. And you have a friend that has 3 cars. And they go into the grocery store, and they happen to be the 100,000th customer that walks into the guy with 3 cars. Not the guy with no car. The guy with the 3 cars. All nice cars. One he doesn't even drive except on weekends. And this person who doesn't need the car walks into the grocery store is the 100,000th customer. The lights go off, the flares go up, the fireworks, and the manager comes over. You are the proud owner of a brand new Lexus, and they go through describing. And you are now required to handle another person's possession, which is this time favor and blessing. Is anybody feeling the pain? Yeah. You now have to get into the position where you survive not saying, that was supposed to be my car. If this guy wasn't so materialistic, he'd recognize my need and he would give me one of the cars anyway. Do you understand what I'm saying? The pressure to, can I rejoice with those that rejoice? Because he just won the brand new car, frankly, doesn't even need one and might even donate it to who knows. But here I am sitting without a car. The point is, the way that you handle another person's success determines when you get your own breakthrough. Well, the way we handle the blessing of the Lord on our lives actually sets the stage for increased favor. Now, this needs to be a priority subject for us because it was for Jesus. It says that Jesus increased in favor with God and with man. Now, if Jesus, who had no sin, needed to increase in favor with God, now I understand why he would need to increase in favor with man, because he's going to end up in the tax collector's house. He's going to end up at the Pharisee's house. He's going to be in these places where doors are open. So that one makes sense to me. But why does Jesus, the Son of God, who has no sin, why does he need to actually increase in favor with the Father? I don't know. I can't answer it. All I can say is if he needed it, boy, I really need to increase in favor. The issue of increased favor is a big deal. Well, look at this. What would favor look like on your life? What would it look like when you go to have your taxes done? What does it look like? They're able to do it easily, quickly. They're able to find things about your taxes that you didn't know. They just seem to have that gift of wisdom come on them as they worked on yours, that maybe they didn't use that same gift for doing somebody else's. It's called a way of life. Here it is. God be merciful to us, bless us, cause his face to shine upon us, that your way may be known on the earth. Say this with me. The face of the Lord shining upon me reveals his ways to a world in great need. This is actually bottom line, simple truth. The favor of God on your life. I remember years ago, we were we're setting Eric up with hearing aids. And we went into this hearing aid doctor. I don't know if you remember this. Eric was like 4 years old. And we'd go into this doctor. We went into this doctor several times over the next several years. And we'd always go in as a whole family. It was always, and at that time it was Eric and Brian and then Benny and me. And the four of us would always go in. It wasn't just Eric going in for a test. We'd just always go in mass, into the office. In mass, we would leave the office. And one day, the doctor actually took me aside. And he took me aside because he could see the life of God, the blessing of the Lord on us as a family unit. And he ached for it because he was having such difficulty in his own home. Took me aside for that reason. There's something about that favor of the Lord. I've had people in grocery stores take me aside and ask me questions about what's different when you walk into the building. I've had them come to me and say, people owner of a store say, when you and your people come in here, there's a sense of community. So what they're doing is they're acknowledging that there's actually an affection, a love for each other. The point being is the best testimony you will have to this world is the fact that the favor of God rests on your life. Listen, if you're a businessman, don't expect to have great impact unless you prosper. You can play racquetball with a few guys and have impact on a social level. But you have God's blessing needs to be on you in the business community to where you can prosper so that you can be a father. One of those that Paul actually led us in prayer for today. I love that statement about our cities. Dominions for the wise. Realms of dominion for those with great wisdom to rule. Not rule in the sense of overpower, but rule in the sense of come under and to serve and empower people. The blessing of the Lord on our life. And here he says that your way would be known on earth, your salvation among the nations. Now let's move on to verse 3 and 4. It says, let all the peoples praise you. I believe that this is a response to verse 2. What does verse 2 say? That his way would be known in the earth and his salvation among the nations. What's the next verse? Let all the peoples praise you. Let all the peoples praise you. Let the nations be glad and sing for joy. You judge the people righteously and govern the nations of the earth. Verse 5. Let all the peoples praise you. Let all the peoples praise you. Then the earth shall yield her increase.